There's allegedly a version of Ether. There's supposedly a line that Nas said, that he said, call yourself a gangster, but you were begging for pardon that night in Carbon when Terror Squad flipped on your squadron, tried to front on their checks till Pun put a gun to your chest.
Pun, man. I always wanted to know, man. Is it true that Pun story hitting Jay with the bottle?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Yes, absolutely.
I think Jay-Z and Pun had beef in the club, and I think they hit Jay-Z with a bottle or something. Jay-Z was sleeping, whatever, in the back.
For instance, I didn't tell you that hoe got hit in the head with a bottle. Either somebody lying to him or he lying to y'all.
Nothing ever. Brooklyn is hardcore. Except for Jay-Z. Brooklyn is hardcore.
I know we got surrounded by 90 of them the other day.
For the past 24 years, people have been spreading the wildest rumors about that night in Carbon, and what really went down between the Roc-A-Fella camp and the Terror Squad. The most famous rumors suggest that Big Pun hit Jay-Z on the head with a bottle of champagne and knocked him to the ground during a club fight. This video will shed light on that incident and is just one of the many stories that are part of the long-lasting feud, which will all be broken down in detail in the upcoming beef analysis. A lot of people confuse that night in Carbon with the meeting in Chicago, where Big Pun and Fat Joe approached Jay-Z on tour. That will be covered in a separate video. This one is only about the first incident, in which the Roc-A-Fella camp and the Terror Squad clashed at a nightclub. And yes, it got physical on both occasions. The year is 1998. The Terror Squad is already well known in hip-hop. They grew a huge following and started performing live all around the US in different clubs and shows. At one point, the Roc-A-Fella clique was supposed to perform together with the Terror Squad at an old nightclub called Carbon, 610 West 56th Street, New York, Manhattan. They redecorated and reopened the venue under the name Terminal 5, because it was closed by the Drug Enforcement Administration in 2003. It's a multi-level event site with 5 distinct room environments and a capacity of 3,000 people. There's a big hall with a stage on the ground floor where artists would perform, and multiple bars serving alcoholic beverages and snacks. On both sides you had the VIP sections on the upper floors. The Roc-A-Fella clique and the Terror Squad had their own rooms and seats reserved upstairs but separated from each other.
Memphis Bleek was there. The whole Roc-A-Fella was there. You know, and it was love. It was all in the VIP. It was love. It was gonna wait till Jay-Z come out. I thought that was gonna be like a nice little, come together.
That night, various artists were supposed to perform, including Big Pun, Fat Joe, Cuban Link, Memphis Bleek, and Jay-Z, who was booked by a Terror Squad associate for $15,000. Which might not seem like a lot of money to you, knowing how much rappers make these days for a single performance, and knowing how rich Jay-Z is today. But back then it was a lot of money for everybody, except Jay-Z of course, who always had relatively high booking fees. The whole Roc-A-Fella army was there except for Jay-Z, who either left early on without performing or didn't show up at all, cause Jay-Z never intended to perform that night. There was some type of misunderstanding during the negotiation process.
Jay-Z being there? I don't recall him being there. But I was always, I was by the bar anyway, so maybe he was there and he exited early. But I didn't see him in there, but he was supposed to perform.
The people who managed the club and the Terror Squad associate thought that he would perform there on stage for $15K, but it turns out that $15K was only his appearance fee. He expected more money to actually go on stage and rap. Felt like him just being there is already worth $15,000, and he wanted the money up front, but he never received it. Some people say he was actually in the club in a separate room sleeping, but that was never confirmed by anybody I consider a reliable source. So everybody was waiting for Jay to come out and perform. It would have been a great way for both camps to come together and to strengthen their relationships. But Jay wasn't there. The Roc-A-Fella clique was in the VIP section partying on their own, and everyone else got mad at them for basically ruining the night. Cause they were all waiting. People stopped dancing and started getting bored, wondering when Jay-Z will finally come on stage.
For some reason, Jay-Z end up welching, not coming out, or saying, yo, it's too little for money.
The Terror Squad associates who booked Jay then went to the Roc-A-Fella team in the VIP section and spoke to Memphis Bleek. Asked him where's boss is and why he ain't performing. And then all of a sudden it turned into a heated argument.
Next thing you know, what happened in that room, all I know later on, it was like Memphis Bleek and his people hit the nigga with a bottle on his head.
The associate got hit with a bottle of champagne by one of Jay-Z's people. He didn't see where it came from or who it was. Some say it was Memphis Bleek who hit him on the head when he was turning around. Others say it was just a regular street dude who surprised him from behind. So the guy from Terror Squad was now on the floor bleeding, and everybody from Jay's camp was laughing at him and enjoying themselves. The guy then stood up and ran to his homies in the other VIP section. The Terror Squad and their associates were chilling and having a good time. Nobody expected what was about to happen.
So now the Terror Squad associate comes and he walks back to the VIP where we all at, bleeding. He said, yo, twin, they flipped on me. Once that happened, it was a wrap.
BigPun pulled out a Rambo knife and him and his whole entourage stood up and attacked the Roc-A-Fella clique. It all resulted in a huge brawl. Cuban Link was throwing bottles and glasses, and Pun used his weight to his advantage, tackling multiple people and knocking them to the ground. Some saw him hitting people with champagne bottles, and that's probably where the rumor about Jay came from.
We both in the VIP, so now we flipping on, you know, Pun, he pull out a Rambo knife. I'm on top of the bar flinging bottles, niggas is swinging, you know, RNS niggas is beating up niggas over there. So we just started just wilding because we seen that. We actually seen one of our people bleeding and them saying it was one of them. So at the end of the day, niggas went at it. Like me, Pun, everybody, we went at it with the Roc-A-Fella niggas at the time. You know, at the time, was, you know, niggas got beat up. Niggas got chased out of the fucking VIP and whatever. Jay-Z wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely didn't lose nothing that day. Just put it like that. Niggas got chased the fuck out of it. Bleek was in there, and the whole like Roc-A-Fella, the street niggas, and other artists. But I don't know, like Beanie and them. I don't know at that time if we was there or not. But I know we got busy. We got busy to the point that they all exited the side door and left, and some of us were still chasing shit.
There are some wild stories going around, like for example Jay-Z buying every drink at the bar so that the Terror Squad had nothing to drink, and them throwing bottles at him so that he had to leave the club. Or another rumor in which Jay allegedly ran around smacking people with a knot of money for fun, and then Pun getting mad at him and hitting him on the head with a Moet bottle. Noreaga, another rap legend, confirmed this rumor when he appeared on Tax Stone's podcast Tax Season about 7 years ago.
Pun, man. I always wanted to know, man. Is it true that Pun story hitting Jay with the bottle?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Yes, absolutely. I think they were beefing over who was closing. I don't remember, but I remember I think Hov and them had brought like 80 niggas to the spot, and Slime and them was like 8 or 10 or maybe 12 deep, and the shit just took the fan. And from what I heard, because I wasn't there, Pun was football tackling all them niggas. Like, Pun was tackling them niggas, and he was hitting niggas in the head with a bottle, from what I heard. And Joe and Jay still hasn't got over that. Roc-A-Fella niggas was hitting niggas in the head with bottles too. Yeah. Them niggas was wildin'. Them niggas was out there wildin'.
But Nori wasn't there that night. He probably just heard rumors about it or had a conversation with one of the members of the Terror Squad, maybe even with Pun himself. Cause Pun and Nori were very close back then. Nori was featured on the song You Came Up off the album Capital Punishment, even appeared in the music video, and Pun was on Nori's Banned from TV off his self-titled album the same year. It's one of the illest posse cuts ever. It had Nature, Pun, Cameron, Jadakiss, Styles P, and of course Noreaga on it. Crazy record. Even had a music video. And Pun had a line on there that people to this day use as confirmation for him hitting Jay-Z with a bottle during that club scuffle in Carbon.
Champagne on the rocks, pouring the Fort Knox Lazarus, shark salad with cabbage, pork chops and applesauce.
Champagne on the Rocks could be a double entendre, not only to reference Pun's favorite drink, an icy glass of champagne, but also Rocs, as in people from Roc-A-Fella, hitting the Roc-A-Fella clique with champagne bottles. At least that's what people have been speculating ever since that song dropped. It's worth to note that a line similar to this was used on his album Capital Punishment before the incident happened. So it's very unlikely that it was a jab at Roc-A-Fella. And even if it was, it doesn't necessarily hint or indicate that it was Jay who got drugged with a bottle. But that's the rumor that spread all around the world. Even people close to Pun believed that it was true, like Nori for example. Even a decade and a half later, he was still convinced that it went down like that. Jay-Z actually called him after he did that podcast episode to correct him and to ask him to tell the story differently next time. Nori actually hung up on him because he thought somebody was prank calling him and making a Jay-Z impression. He thought the real Jay-Z wouldn't even worry about that. But then when he called the second time, he was convinced and asked Jay how he can fix it.
I was like, you can't care about this shit. And he was like, nah, I don't care. I care about you knowing. So I said, how do we fix this? He said, nah, you don't need to fix it. But if the interview ever comes up again, I locked the number in, I'm never using it.
Jay-Z actually addressed these rumors on record in the year 2007, when he appeared in the intro of True Life's mixtape True York.
For instance, if a nigga tell you that hoe got hit in the head with a bottle, either somebody lying to him or he lying to y'all.
Now, Jay-Z wasn't the only one who shut those rumors down. BigPun's widow and his close friend Cuban Link, who was there that night, denied it in multiple interviews.
So this story, about Pun hitting him in the bottle, I don't know where it came from. I don't know why they keep bringing it up or keeping it alive, because the truth was, it wasn't the truth. You know what I'm saying? If it was true, I'd be gladly say that, yeah, he hit him over the bottle and he knocked out, but that's not the case.
People got it twisted with that. It was 2 altercations with Jay-Z. It was that one, the club in Carbons.
Yeah.
That was a whole different thing. That was, Jay-Z wasn't even there.
So Jay-Z's clique got chased out of the club all the way back to Brooklyn, and the beef was on. Roc-A-Fella versus Terror Squad.